Stand up, New York sports fans! I am super thrilled. I've got one of my favorite YouTubers on the channel, Stuck in the 80s, as we're going to talk. I'm going to get to know you a little bit better tonight, so I'm really looking forward to this. I love doing this show. I get to talk to some new YouTubers. What's going on, buddy? How was your day?
I am awesome. Thank you so much for having me on the channel, and everybody in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button for this entertainer. And I did notice he is 10 subs away from 4,000. Let's get him to 4,000 tonight.
That would be amazing. That would be incredible. I appreciate that. Let's get you. Where are you right now? About 85, 90?
I'm stuck in the 80s.
Let's get you to 100 by the end of the night. Go into the description and sub this man up. I just want to say hello to everybody. Rogue Dogs in the house. Joe Lutz, Cesar Munoz, Nelson, Redskins 24/7, Mustard Bus Stand Up, Cesar Munoz, Big Blue for Life, Buffalo Things. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in. You guys are the best. Russell Johnson, I think it's cool you find these sports enthusiasts. Yeah, man. Yvonne's in the house. Hire me so I can quit my job, Chris. I've had it. You know what, Yvonne? Once I get big enough and I can hire people, you'll be the first person I call. Crazy Mofo in the house. Thank you, everybody. So, what I wanted to start with, buddy, is I want to start talking about your YouTube channel, what it's about, what inspired you to do what you're doing. Obviously, it's Stuck in the 80s. You talk about 80s movies, but tell me what inspired you to create this channel.
Just want to address Redskins 24/7. I was an Eric Dickerson fan as a kid, but I am Big Blue all the way through. Giants fan right here. So Stuck in the 80s. I had a previous channel, which I've talked to you about a little bit, and I canceled the channel last year, and I missed being in front of the camera. I had a Christian metal band thing I was doing. I'm openly a Christian, but I'm not in front of the camera with that. And I said, you know, I love the movie review sites, but the reviews are so long. They're like 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm like, what if I did a review that was shorter? Instead of spoiling the crap out of everything, just kind of mini spoilers. Then I figured, what do I want to review? Everybody's reviewing the Marvel movies. Everything that's coming out has been covered. So I searched YouTube to see how many channels were dedicated to 80s film reviews. I was shocked. There were zero. So I said, there's my niche, because I have a ton of 80s movies. I've been stuck in the 80s with music, with movies. So I'm just going to do 80s movie reviews, and hopefully people like it. And so far, so good.
Yeah, I love the channel. If anybody has not checked it out, if you are a movie fan, you will absolutely love it. He puts a ton of work into his channel. I was his third subscriber. I found him because obviously he was a subscriber of mine. Told me he started up a channel. I checked it out. I absolutely love your channel. So it is a thrill for me to have you on this show. I absolutely love everything you do over there. And let's talk about your channel a little bit. Tell me about some of your favorite movies. Of course, we're going to get into some Giant talk. You're a big Giants fan. But tell me some of your favorite movies from the 80s.
Favorite movies? I was a huge Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Freddy Krueger fan. So any of those three, love those movies. I'm a huge Godzilla mark, but he only has 2 movies from the 80s, but I like both of those. Pinhead from Hellraiser, obviously Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. So I guess, in short, everything horror, Rambo, anything horror, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I do want to let you guys know, with the 80s channel, I'm not just doing movie reviews. That is 80% of the content, but I am live streaming as well. So next week I might start live streaming some vintage video games, and I've busted out my 80s toys. And Chris, you just got a super chat, brother. Awesome.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Who that, of course, formerly known, what was his name again? It was Icy Dunks. Icy Dunks, formerly known as Icy Dunks, big Saints fan. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Yvonne is an 80s horror fan. You've got to check out his channel then, Yvonne. You will absolutely love it. You did a horror thing the other night. Well, it was more of a movie collection, but you had the Chucky doll behind you. You've done the glove review with the Freddy Krueger gloves. I mean, I've never met anybody in my life that could keep me entertained for 30 minutes talking about gloves, but he did it.
You mean something similar to this, Chris? I came prepared.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Is that your favorite horror character?
Oh, by far. I first saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I was about 8 years old. Saw Part 3 in the theater when I was 9 or 10, and just so many great things about Freddy Krueger. He's got the hat, he's got the outfit, he's got the burned face, he's got the glove, and he's got the voice. Just you put it all together with the sense of humor and the one-liners. I think he is the greatest horror villain of all time. And Robert Englund, props to him for making such an iconic character.
You bring up the voice. What's going on, Sam Donald? Thank you. Everybody who's tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. By the way, one other shout-out I want to give. If anybody, and the link is in the description, if anybody who has not subbed up Philly 500, go over there and sub him up. I also put the video. There is a song he made today that I was dying when I saw it. Hysterical. You won't want to miss it. So go check that out after the show. But real quick, you brought up the voice. I've heard you do the Freddy Krueger voice, and I need you to show the audience again right now your Freddy Krueger voice. It is unbelievable. By the way, I just want to say hello to Joe Musa, diehard Giants fan. Thank you so much for tuning in. But go ahead, give me that voice.
All right.
Every town has an Elm Street.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Bobby, what's going on, my man? Thank you so much for the super chat. He says the original Nightmare on Elm Street is the GOAT. Thank you. So how do you do that?
Well, Chris, hearing Freddy as a little kid, I'm like, man, I love that voice. I want to do that. And as I got older, I started loving the Mortal Kombat games. And I would just sit there and I would just talk with the announcers. The next thing you know, I'm playing the game and I'd be like, round 1, fight. Finish me. So, I mean, I just...
QC, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, sup, fella. That voice is spot on. Can you do any... I think you did a... was it a Stallone?
Stallone's kind of tough because I don't have a... Hey, yo, maybe I'll fight Apollo, maybe I won't.
Do you got any others? I love this.
I was a big wrestling fan in the 1980s, so,
Big wrestling fan in the 1980s. Dig it!
Macho Man.
Macho Man.
Love it. Absolutely love it. This guy is great.
Another one in the 90s because I'm stuck in the 90s for a period of my life. I love The Undertaker, so let me bring that up. Anything that's kind of got that gravelly Cookie Monster voice, I usually can do fairly well. So The Undertaker.
Yokozuna, at the Royal Rumble, you will rest in peace.
Oh my God! This guy is phenomenal. Cesar Muno says this guy's good. He is phenomenal. You have got it. This guy's content is unbelievable. He goes all out in all these videos. He's fully decked out. He's got the costume for every movie he's talking about. He does the voices. I absolutely love everything about this guy's channel. Go over there and sub this man up. Now that we've been talking about a lot of movies, I mean, I'm a huge movie guy myself. I'm a big 80s guy, 90s guy. Now, you've taught me a lot about 80s movies that I don't know half the movies you've done reviews for, but I'm going to go back and watch some of them. But I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. You know that. We've talked about that. A lot of people make fun of me for that, but I love everything that guy does. Everything that guy does, and you did a review for me.
Good.
Yeah, you did. Now go ahead and tell people about that.
All right, so Chris asked me to review Risky Business, and honestly, I'd never seen it before. As much as I am stuck in the 80s, I have not seen every 80s movie ever made. There's a lot of them. And I was really worried that with my review, I gave it not a great score, not a bad score, but an above average score. And I figured once he saw my review, he was going to unsub me and say, hey, buddy, sorry, Tuesday night, take a hike.
I love that movie, but I get it. The ending was a little, I get what you were saying with the review. It's just such a classic movie for me. I love it.
If I grew up with it, I think my opinion would have been very different. If I was like 8 years old seeing Rebecca De Hornay naked like that, I would have been like, yeah, I love this movie.
Yeah. And what do we got? How do you feel about, Back to the Future, Alex Hall? That is one of my all-time favorites. I'm going to say Back to the Future. Thank you so much, Spotlight Sports Talk. Love you, bro. I support you. Spotlight Sports Talk, by the way, if you're free next Tuesday, I'm going to have you on the channel for this show. So I'm looking forward to that, and I appreciate the super chat. What's going on, GZSW? Thank you for tuning in to the stream. But I would rank Back to the Future, I think, third as my favorite trilogy ever.
Favorite trilogy ever? Oof. Ooh, OGR, awesome. One giant rebuttal.
Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, love the fact that you and Stuck in the 80s. Love the fact that you have Stuck in the 80s on. Good luck with the show. Wish I could stick around longer. That being said, stop by the show support. Thank you so much, One Giant Rebuttal. I really appreciate that. Please go over there and sub this man up. And sub up One Giant Rebuttal too. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. Sub both of them up. And by the way, Texas Liberty. That intro you did for me last night on the call-in show, that is going to be a permanent staple. Joe Musa was able to edit that for me. That will be a permanent staple on every Monday night call-in show going forward. So thank you for that. But yeah, my top 3 trilogies of all time. Actually, I have it fourth. I lied. I have it fourth. I go 1, Lord of the Rings. That's my all-time favorite.
Oh, okay.
I go 2, Godfather. 3, Star Wars. 4, Back to the Future. And then I got Indiana Jones 5.
Well, Indiana Jones, Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
right.
they made more.
Right. They only made 3 Indiana Jones movies, Chris. Exactly. Good point. Only 3.
What's your top?
I say I can do franchises because I love Rocky, which are what are they up to 8 now? 6 or 7, 8? I don't know. There are 6 Rockies, 2 Creeds, so they're 8. But trilogies, I will put Back to the Future there. I will definitely put episode 4 through 6, and I'm being very specific on that. Star Wars 4 through 6. I almost want to cheat and turn around and look at my DVD collection, but oh, you know what? I'm going to throw the Avengers in there because right now it is a trilogy. Endgame's not released, so the 3 Avengers movies.
That counts.
That does count. That's probably my 3 right now. I would have to think about it because so many of the franchises I like are more than 3. Like the Terminator's been way more than 3. I did see a lot of people asking about Back to the Future in the chat. I do want to address that. My 50th episode, right now I'm on early 30s on my channel. I shoot way ahead of schedule, as in 3 to 4 weeks ahead of when the video is actually released. Back to the Future is going to be my 50th episode. Because people keep asking for it, Die Hard is 2 episodes later. I've reviewed both. I even wore a wife beater for Die Hard. I'm pasty white because it's the winter, but I did it for you guys because I wanted to look as much like John McClane as I could.
That's awesome. Die Hard's my favorite Christmas. Do you consider it a Christmas movie?
Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. You heard it here first from Stuck in the 80s.
Has to be. I have this argument every year with my brother come Christmas time. I say it's absolutely a Christmas movie. He tells me it's absolutely not. It is absolutely a Christmas movie.
Hello, ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun. Christmas.
Do you want to collab at the movie? Yeah, at some point for sure. I'm gonna have you on. You've never watched Lord of the Rings, Big Blue for Life? Are you kidding me? What's going on, Skins fan all day? Thank you so much for tuning in the stream. I see Buster Cherries and now Sean Rosas. Love Sean Rosas. Thank you so much for stopping by. Fox87, what's going on? Cushman's in the chat.
We got more people watching than likes. How's that possible, guys? Hit that like button for my man, the Entertainer.
Hit that thumbs up. Go in the description and sub this man up. He's doing a great job. Great job tonight you're doing. So anyway, we're talking a lot of movies. I'm sure we'll get back to that. I want to talk about your previous channel. I want to get back to that. But before we do, I want to get a little sports talk. You're a huge Giants fan.
Yep.
And I'm just curious. I think you've told me, but I'd like you to... How did you come across my channel?
So I only have over-the-air high-definition TV. So I just get the networks. And the Giants were playing the 49ers on Monday Night Football. And I'm like, well, I bet somebody's out there doing a reaction video, so I'll just listen to their play-by-play. Searched it out, found you, November 12th, checked the date, and I'm like,
that's my birthday.
This guy's doing a good job.
Is it? Yeah, that's my birthday, but that was the night I had Cop Pizzle on the channel.
No kidding.
Yeah, Cop Pizzle was on the channel that night. We streamed the game together.
I remember just listening to the game, and I was like, I like this guy. You know, maybe I'll check him out in the future. And since I watched one of your videos, you started to show up in my recommendations from YouTube. So I was like, all right, I'll start I started watching more and more videos, but I had the Christian Metal channel. I never got involved with the chat, which I regret because the chats are awesome. That's one of my favorite things about streaming is the chat. You guys are incredible. And eventually when I started a new channel the first week of January, I'm like, you know what? I'll just get in there and start talking with them. And that's the weekend you had JC. He was up from Florida to New York. I'm like, these guys are awesome. And then I've been hooked since.
Yeah, and Real Giants Mafia says, I need to have Cop back on. I'm absolutely going to have Cop back on. I love Cop Pizzle. I love everything he does. He's one of the nicest guys I've met since I've been on YouTube. I will absolutely have Cop Pizzle on in the near future, as long as he's free to do it. But that's awesome, man. And tell me how you came about being a Giants fan. And yeah, let's talk some Giants football.
The New York Football Giants. So, circa somewhere in the late 1980s, a family friend used to always come over and watch the Giants on Sundays. So when football's on, I just figured, all right, I'll start watching him with him. I feel like a bit of a bandwagoner because I became a Giants movie critic. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
About that.
Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Bruce Willis said Die Hard is not. Bruce Willis is dead wrong. And he's the star, and I'll tell him he's dead wrong. It is absolutely a Christmas movie critic. Thank you so much for the super chat. What's going on, Nathaniel? Thank you so much for tuning in. What's going on, Anthony Seminelli? Anybody that is new to the chat, you guys got to go back and watch the beginning. Stuck in the 80s is killing it. We're talking movies. We're talking sports. Go in the description. Sub him up. You will not regret it. He has the entertainer's stamp of approval. He's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. But, yeah, you got it, man. But, yeah, so anyway, we were talking about how you became a Giants fan.
So, Nelson, I want to address that real quick. I know I said my name is but it really is Rich. So my name is Rich. So,
Rich, there you go.
There you go. So all the letters of my name make up Chris's name. It's easier to remember that way.
There you go. I didn't even think about that.
RCH. You just got the S, man. So with the Giants being on every week, they started off 3-0 during their second Super Bowl season. I just kind of latched on. You had Carl Banks, Lawrence Taylor, Phil Simms. And, of course, that was a magical year. Phil Simms got injured, and backup Jeff Hostler comes in and wins out to get the Super Bowl. So it just immediately fell in love with the team. I like the colors. They're America, red, white, and blue. You can't go. How are they not America's team? They're red, white, and blue.
They should be. That's for damn sure. I'm sick of hearing that the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. I'm sick and tired of that.
So been a fan ever since 1990, so almost 30 years, and just it's been up and down. I'm an Eli Manning fan. I'm wearing the Eli jersey, and it's gonna be weird when he finally retires or is asked to leave. But it's just been I love the team. Love Tiki Barber's whole career. Just something about the Giants. It's a tradition too. They've been around since 1925, I think.
Yeah, 1925. Yeah.
One of the first, if not the first team. So it's just it's been a fun ride, and because of this channel, I've met great people like or because of the Giants, yourself, Bad Dog. I just not meeting, but you know what I mean. Like checking out other Giants fans' content. I'm like, man, this is awesome that there's so many great Giants fans out there I didn't know about.
Yeah. What? You don't got to give me your zip code, but I think you've told me. I forgot. Are you from New York?
No, I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yeah.
Western Mass. So I can, I was from West Springfield, so I can do this and not be a total tool. I'm still a tool, just not a total tool. Right. Throwing up the gang symbol. And being in Western Mass, you had the Patriots back in the day on CBS, I think, and the Giants were always on. Gosh, Fox wasn't even showing really a network then. ABC or NBC, whoever it was. So the Giants were on every Sunday. So It was either Patriots or the Giants. And believe it or not, the Patriots sucked at one point. Man, they sucked hard in the 90s for the most part, except for one Super Bowl run. So I picked the Giants.
So I got a question for you. Being that you're from, thank you so much for the Turtles. I really do appreciate that. What's going on, Lawan? Thank you. Waterboy Report is in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody go over there and sub up Waterboy Report. He does a great job over there. I like the guy minus the Dickerson jersey, real New York Giants Mafia.
I'm an Eric Dickerson fan.
Now, I'm assuming you became a Dickerson fan when he had the 2,000-yard season?
No, I wasn't watching football then. I became a fan when he sucked. His last 3 years in Indianapolis, his 1 year with the Raiders, and then I think he was at Atlanta for 4 games and got hurt, and that ended his career. So I was there for the sucky part of his career. So props to me for riding out the crap storm.
Now, what I wanted to ask you, being that you're from Massachusetts, I hope that when I get the tailgate together next year, you show up, because I would love to meet you at the Giant Jet game.
I am there.
Awesome. Very good
stuff. If we're not going into the stadium, I'm going to be out there.
That's all. Looking forward to that. I'm just trying to see if we got any questions out there. But yeah, so
my Rams jersey's getting a lot of hate. Do you realize since I hung up this jersey, it scored more points than the Rams did in the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, Eli does not always stink, Chris.
Come on, Chris Senior. Chris Senior, I gotta address him real quick, Chris. Because Chris Senior in our chat, our little group chat, has been saying Rivers has had no help his career. Phillip Rivers had one of the top 10 running backs of all time in LaDainian Tomlinson and a top 5 tight end of all time in Antonio Gates, and had a Pro Bowl offensive line because I looked it up. I don't want to hear he hasn't had help. He's had phenomenal help.
No, that supporting cast that Rivers had early in his career, around 05, 06, 07, that time period, was much more than Eli ever had. Yeah, Rivers had more with that team than Eli ever had. But, we're talking some Giants. Tell me about what you want to see with the Giants going forward this year. What you think about the future. Do you think they should replace the quarterback in the draft? Do you think they should wait a year? Tell me all, what you want to see going forward.
I want to see a winning season to start.
Well, yeah.
That would be
that
would be the obvious. Here's my thought on the Giants, and I did a little research in this over the last 2 years. The 2007 roster before the season started, we had Eli Manning, Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Marshall, while coming off a bad season with the Jets, had a string of good seasons before that. Sterling Shepard and Evan Engram as a rookie. So I thought this is a playoff team. Our offense is going to be unstoppable. My friends even said the same thing too. Redskins fans that I was friends with, Eagles fans, are like, man, your team is going to be great. No, we went 3-13 and got every wide receiver possible injured on that team.
Right.
2018, Eli Manning, Odell Beckham Jr., Saquon Barkley. We have a stud running back. Sterling Shepard. Evan Engram in year 2, his sophomore year, had a great rookie season. I'm thinking, all right, this year, this is a playoff team. No, they sucked. And Philly 500, I caught that with my peripheral vision. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And by the way, Philly, thank you. Let me read it first. Yo, everybody, how you doing? Entertaining, stuck in the 80s. What up? Excited to watch this stream. Philly 500, thank you so much for the super chat. And Philly 500's link is in the description along with Stuck in the 80s. Sub them both up. Check out the music video he just made of me. He's talking about me and my dolphin love, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love everything about that man, love everything about that channel. So I just want to give him a big thank you for making that video for me. I really appreciated that. But yeah, what were we talking about? I just got interrupted by Philly 500.
The Giants and how they suck.
Yes, the Giants and how they suck.
Yes.
Well, yes, you're absolutely. The problem with the Giants, as I always say, they're a pig with lipstick. They have the pieces. They have the sexy fantasy players. They don't have the offensive line, and they don't have the pass rush. Without a pass rush, you can't close out games. They haven't been able to do it since, I mean, really, the last great pass rusher we had, I mean, you got to go back to Tuck, Umanura, those guys. We haven't had a dominant pass rusher since those days for the most part. You know, Vernon was pretty good the first year, but
he's been a bust. He's waste of money.
Yeah, not worth what they're paying him, that's for sure.
You mentioned the offensive line, and I did some research on this as well. Pro Football Focus, since 2013, the Giants have been bad since 13, one anomaly of a season with the first year of Bob McAdoo. The offensive line ranked per Pro Football Focus, 2018, 21st, 2017, 26th, 2016, 2015, and 2014, 20th, in 2013, 28th. What do all those have in common? Terrible Eli in 2013, good Eli in 2014 and 2016, and maybe okay mediocre Eli from 2017 to 2018. So what I'm trying to say is the offensive line has been 20th or worst the last 6 seasons. You cannot win one offensive line that bad, especially when you're drafting jabronis like Eli Apple and Eric Flowers. So as much crap as Eli Manning gets, guys, his offensive line sucks. He's not Russell Wilson. He can't run around. Eli Manning is as fast as my Eli Manning puppet I have here. It's not going anywhere.
No, you're absolutely right. They have not addressed the offensive line in years. Jerry Reese did a horrible job. I said it in my offensive line preview video. Nate Solder, Dave Gettleman spent more on Nate Solder than the re-spent on the offensive line in free agency from year 2012 to 2017 combined. They didn't address the offensive line. And the draft, it was complete bust. I mean, you go down the list. Flowers, Richburg, Pugh, none of them lived up to their draft position. So that to me is the biggest problem. Now, we both have to recognize, though, and I love Eli. Eli's my favorite player ever. He's 38. You're picking 6th overall. So if you like a quarterback, in my opinion, you kind of have to take one. If you like one, you cannot force it. If they don't think one of these guys is a franchise guy, you wait another year. But it's hard to gamble, because if they go out there have a good year, you're not gonna be able to get a quarterback next year without trading your soul to the devil. You know, it's not every year you get a chance to pick 6th overall.
I admittedly do not watch college football. I don't know a darn thing about it. And I've heard present your case for Haskins. I've heard Bad Dog with the Kyler Murray stuff. And I did do some research on Kyler Murray and Haskins. And just seeing Kyler Murray with his last season, 140 attempts for 1,001 yards, 7.2 yards a carry, and 12 touchdowns. I lived in... Oh, Chris, you got another one.
Detonator, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I am back, boys. Yay, stream time. Thank you so much for the super chat, Detonator. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much. But go ahead. Chuck Shorts is in the house. What's going on, my man?
Chuck Sharts, what's up? Scott, everybody that's in the chat, thank you for joining tonight.
So, by the way, I wanted to shout out Chris Sonor. Yes, for a shout out. I missed it. Chris Sonor, you know I love you. You're the son I never had. I always say that. But go ahead.
Chris Sonor, Philip Rivers is a great quarterback, by the way. Just kidding. Love you, brother. So, what the heck was that? Oh, I lived in Fredericksburg, Virginia for 10 years, and I lived during the whole RG3 craze. And that rookie season, watching a quarterback just take off and run, it was like 75 or 80 yards against the Minnesota Vikings. I'm just now imagining that with the New York Giants and some sort of read option. I mean, how can defenses play for Saquon and a quarterback that can run that fast? But I keep hearing Haskins is a better fit, so I'm torn. Because if we miss on a quarterback, we are set back a few years. And quarterbacks miss. Ryan Leaf, DeMarcus Russell, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to draft a quarterback at 6 and blow it. So it makes me very nervous. But we need a quarterback. Eli is old. He maybe have one good year left, and he can tutor the quarterback they draft. But I'm really nervous with the draft.
Now, let me ask you this about Eli. Let's say they don't take a quarterback this year. They stick with Eli as the starter. They have Willett as the backup, or they get a veteran, a guy that's going to be the backup. Eli's has started throughout the year. Giants have a pretty good year. Say they go 10-6. Let's just say everything breaks right. They make the playoffs. Next year, they draft a quarterback. Do you see them bringing back Eli for another year to mentor that quarterback if he has a good year and they make the playoffs?
The problem is Eli's cap hit is so big. I believe he's getting 23 to 25 million. I don't know exactly.
He's off the books after this year.
Is he off the books?
Yeah, so he'd have to resign.
He would have to take a huge pay cut.
Yeah.
And if he's willing to do that, then I would love to have him back one more year as a mentor. It depends who they draft, though, Chris. If they draft Murray or Haskins, and he look great.
No. I'm saying if they pass on.
They don't. No, that's right. You said that they don't.
They take either a Tua or a Fromm, whoever, in next year's draft.
That's right. You did say. I'm sorry. Gosh. I don't know who's going to be in the draft the following year, and if they finish 10-6, they're picking probably somewhere after 20, and you're usually not going to get a stud quarterback after that. It does happen. There's Russell Wilson was a third-round pick. So man,
they'd have to trade up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that concerns me now is we keep talking about quarterback, offensive line, but the defense has regressed significantly in the last 3 years. The defense sucks and costs them.
The defense is awful.
We lost 3 or 4 games because of the defense, easily.
One of the worst defenses in football. I mean, it's that bad. They're leading. Vernon was the guy who led the team in sacks with 7, and I think B.J. Hill was second with 5.5. They have no pass rush. They have to address that in the draft this year or free agency. They have got to get a premium pass rusher. They have to.
I got to address Chris and yours saying, stuck in the 80s looking like a pizza man delivering burgers. I'm a pizza man delivering the 80s to you, brother.
What kind of statement is that?
It's cold in my house. That's why I'm wearing a hoodie under my freaking Giants jersey. I was just going Giants jersey, and I was like, you know what? It's a little cold. I'm going to throw the hoodie on.
I was going to say, you look bundled up.
I am bundled up.
So what's with the David Robinson? I guess you're a Spurs fan?
I am a Spurs fan. I got the David Robinson jersey and starting lineup figure here. I wanted to bring in some different sports I liked. And Spurs, I started liking Robinson, I think, his second season, so right around 1990. He was a great player. He was a role model, something you can't say a lot about sports athletes. He's a legit good guy role model. And I just I like the team. Of course, they were a great team that could never get over the hump. Robinson gets hurt for a year and only plays 6 games. Was it 6 games? It wasn't many. They draft Tim Duncan, and then boom, dynasty. And not many people use the word dynasty with the Spurs, but 5 championships and just over 50 wins for 15 or 16 years in a row.
It's been incredible. And Tim Duncan's another role model. I mean, they're both high character guys. Popovich to me is he's identical almost to Belichick in terms of what he's been able to do with the moving parts on that team. They're constantly competitive. That is the best franchise in basketball over the last 20 years. They've been so consistent.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I did like baseball, which is why Mike Schmidt's back here, so I'm going old school. And I also got Jose Canseco, who I was a huge fan of the Bash Brothers. I don't know if you were a little too young to remember
Canseco. And a lot of people don't know this about Canseco. I believe Canseco is the first player in the history of baseball to hit 40 home runs and steal 40 bases in the same year. I think he's the first player ever to do it. There it is. Jose's 40-40. There it is.
I'm telling you, I got
we didn't plan that.
Or something. I knew you were going to say it, so I brought it out.
We didn't plan that. He is the first player ever to do that. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's only 4 players ever to do that. I think Barry Bonds,
yes.
Him, I used to know this by heart. Soriano didn't do it, did he?
I think Soriano might have done it, because that's the
I know he was close. And there was another player that I'm forgetting. A-Rod.
A-Rod, right?
Yeah, A-Rod did it. Yeah. A-Rod did it, yeah. That's the stat spotlight says, yeah. Chris, your thoughts on Manny coming over here to San Diego? Oh, God, are you kidding me? Manny Machado's a great pickup, but you overpaid.
Yeah. And the Padres still stink.
Yes, they do. Now, it'll be interesting because they're rumored to still be in on Harper. Imagine if they added Harper with him.
Really? Are they in the running for Harper?
They're in the running. It's them and the Phillies.
Wow. I'm surprised they have money left to be in the running after the
they have nobody else on their payroll. So that's why they're in on it. Ligma, what's going on, my man? Thank you so much for coming in. It's stuck in the boobies. All right, good to know that.
Well, I wish I was. No offense to Chris or you guys, but I mean,
we all like we all like a good motorboat from time to time.
Yeah, well,
But,
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, the other thing, I want to get back to your channel. You had a channel previous to this one. Go into a little bit about that and what made you quit that channel and come to this, start a new channel. Because you had a lot of success from what you told me with that channel.
Yes and no. And this is going to be a little bit of a long story, guys, so I apologize. But I started a channel back in December of 2006, which is right at the start of YouTube. I think YouTube started in 2005, so I was there a year later. And I had a channel called Whack Bag Films. It's not porn. I know it sounds like it, but it was just a cheesy channel where me and my friends made homemade movies. We did spoofs of They Live, The Punisher, Friday the 13th, etc., etc. And then we did we had a little mini-series like Tales from the Crypt later in its life. And in late 2016, this is 10 years of the channel, I had 16 subscribers. So I was, persevering, but had no following. Didn't know about SEO, which is search engine optimization. Just the channel had no following. But I did it for fun. I noticed that year that reactions were really popular, but I also noticed that UFC reactions were popular, was something that I really liked. And I was like, hey, Conor McGregor's about to fight Eddie Alvarez for the title. Talk to my buddies. I'm like, why don't we do a live reaction from Hooters? Maybe some people will watch it. And all my videos at that point were getting 100 to 200 views. And that night, that video got like 3,000 views. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I've got a video that was successful. That hasn't happened before. So a couple weeks later, we did a reaction to Brock Lesnar fighting Bill Goldberg. I was a wrestling fan. Bill Goldberg was coming back. And then, boom, another video, 3,000 to 4,000 views. I'm like, holy crap, like, people like these reactions. We just started doing them. So in 2017, I started doing a bunch of UFC and WWE reactions. They would get 5, 10, 15, 20,000 views, which was awesome. But I also started another part of the channel. I started doing death metal reactions. I was big into death metal, and that had a good following as well. But my channel now is all over the place. I've got original content. I've got death metal. I've got UFC. I've got WWE. So my channel doesn't have an identity. So come 2018, I ended up deleting all the Whack Bag Film stuff and changed the channel to the death metal reaction. There was a lot of content on there I was not proud of. Death metal is a very abrasive type of music with some satanic lyrics, some gory lyrics, and it was just to the point where I was like, the channel has changed so much from what I originally set out for it to be, just to be a fun channel. I wasn't enjoying it. It just, it was not for me anymore. So last August, I canceled the channel. I really wish, and this is to anybody that's thinking of branching out content-wise, you can have multiple YouTube accounts. You can have your sports channel, you can have like a movie channel. Putting too many things under one umbrella was just a bad idea. And there was content on there I was not proud of. Content I wouldn't want my parents to see, so I just said, you know what, it's got to go.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I was just curious to hear the story. Because it's got to be tough to just cancel a channel like that because you put so much work into it.
It was, but because it wasn't what I originally started, because it was so different and it just turned into something that I didn't like, it was tough. And starting over has been extremely tough. I'm used to, having weekends where I would get, I did a music video for my band that had 25,000 views. I did a cover of Jingle Bells. The WrestleMania stuff was getting 25,000 views. To go from 25,000 views in a day to 25, it's very difficult. But I will say this, I really do feel like I have quality over quantity right now, because every person that comments, I love it. Yourself, Bad Dog, Texas Liberty, everybody that comes in and watches a video and says, man, I love your review, or you made me laugh, or I want to go see this movie for the first time or revisit it. That means more to me than 1,000 views. It really does.
Yeah, I love your channel. I really do. I think I told you this the first time I saw your channel. Your channel will be over 1,000 subscribers within 6 months. I fully believe that. Let's see what we got. I hope you blow up. Oh yeah, he's gonna blow up Gritty. Oh, by the way, Gritty Giant's got a channel over there. Go check him out.
Well, what if Gritty Giant is like talking about the movie Scanners, and he just hopes my head explodes on camera because he probably thinks that'd be really cool. I mean, that'd be different, right? Exploding head. The Entertainer talking exploding heads. Come on, that'd be cool.
I talk about that. I talk about everything. I talk about dolphin sex, turtle porn. I do it all.
You talk about everything.
He did say his real name before, but you can say it again.
It is Rich, M-H-R-I-C-H.
Let's see what we got here. What's your...
I was born rich and I'll die rich. Think about that.
Now are you talking about your name, or are you talking about your...
I'm talking about my name.
Have you got any of your old subs, Christian wants to know?
Have you... No, I don't. I stayed friends with one guy that really liked my channel. He lives in Sweden, so we've been writing back and forth, and we're going to do a collab product where I'm going to record some death metal vocals, which is why I can do the Freddy voice and similar voices for him. And sent them off to Sweden, but I don't think any of my old subs came over.
Yeah, it's a completely different type of channel. But
completely different.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, what's going on, Rum Boys Fantasy Network? Go sub them up, by the way. They always show a lot of love to my channel. They always come over here. Is Rich short for Richard? I'm assuming it is.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
short for Ricardo Schwarzenegger.
Yes, Ricardo Schwarzenegger. Mustard Bud says, your content is great, man. Your editing, yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Just do country. What's going on, Last Jedi? Thank you for tuning into the stream. Can you do a Philly 500 song in death metal?
Oh, goodness. All right. Let me get a little swig here. We don't want to do like the Mad Dog.
What are you drinking, by the way?
Just water.
Oh, okay.
That's water. Do you like Mad Dog is a bad dog?
Yeah.
All right.
Mad Dog is a bad dog because he knows the truth.
Where does that come? Where does that come from? This guy's he's this nice guy, and all of a sudden he sounds like the devil.
Your face during that was awesome, Chris.
Well done. I love this guy. What's going on, Timothy? Thank you for tuning into the stream. This guy
loves me in a heterosexual way. Not there's anything wrong with,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
with either way,
but yeah, no, I love you.
Stuck in the boobies.
Yeah, we're both stuck in the boobies. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, Chris says Chris's face. Nathaniel says bravo. Yeah, if you want to see more of that, sub them up. The link is in the description. And I'll say it again, Philly 500's in the chat. Check out the music video he made of me today. That's in the description as well. And sub him up. Both channels are in the description. Sub both those guys up. But I love doing this. I love getting to know some of my subscribers, some other YouTubers that I want to collaborate with. I just love doing it. This is why I started this show. I want to have a new guest on every week. Last week I couldn't do it, but almost every week I want to start doing this. I already had One Giant Rebuttal on, and I had, who else did? Kid Blue. So
Mustard Bus? You did a collab with Mustard Bus?
Well, that was on his channel, but yeah. And that's the other thing. I want to go on your channel maybe in a week or two. I want to go on your channel. We'll talk straight movies for an hour, so I think that'd be fun.
Absolutely. Apparently I'm 4 subs away from 100 now, so...
There we go. He's 4 away from 100. You got to sing another song. Give me another impression.
Oh, goodness. Yes, by the way, Kristen York is asking, am I in a band on my... If I could do a cheap plug here. On the Stuck in the 80s page, there is a link for a band called Eternity's Shore. It is a Christian metal band, so if you're not into Christian metal, it's not going to be for you. But I've got Christian metal, Christian death metal, which is an oxymoron. And then I've got some Christmas death metal songs because why not?
So is it like it's like Jingle Bells, but just sounds like that?
Oh yeah,
jingle bells, jingle all the way.
You know. Just that, just sounding like a demon. That's all.
Yeah, sound like something from hell.
You got another impression you could do?
Oh goodness. Wow, I'm trying to think. All right, so I don't do a great Arnold Schwarzenegger. But in all his movies, I swear Arnold is doing the...
That's Total Recall, right?
That is Total Recall when he's in the chair.
Yeah. I love
we all can do that. Just act stupid and you're Arnold. I mean,
that's an 80s movie. Is it not?
No, 1990.
Oh, I missed it by a year.
Chris, if I could share a quick story about Total Recall.
What?
If I could share a quick story about Total Recall.
It's got to be about the 3 boobs.
No, but I do wish I had 3 hands. It's not about the 3 boobs. Total Recall is the only movie I can remember going to where the audience cheered, literally, for a trailer. I remember watching the movie, or the trailers, and then a trailer comes on, and it shows robots being assembled. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, no way. And then boom, a robot head turns around, red lights come on, and it's a Terminator head. Because we've been clamoring for a Terminator sequel for years, so it was the announcement of Terminator 2, so the place went nuts. I've never seen anything like that before since.
And back then, it's not like it is now. Back then, that's when you would first hear about a movie. Now you have the internet, you find out about it right away, but back then you used to get excited to see the trailers because you legitimately didn't know it was coming out in a month.
No, you didn't. Not at all. I miss those days.
And Terminator 2, to me, is probably the greatest sequel of all time. The first one is okay to me. I don't think the first one's great. The second one, to me, is incredible. And it's so far ahead of its time with the visual effects. You go back now and you watch that movie. That movie's, 30 years old, right, almost? And
91, 28. It was shot in 1990, so it's, pushing 30.
And it looks like it could be made today almost. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get that, Chris, when I look at 90s movies like Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park 1, my opinion, still looks better than all of the sequels. And technology is advanced.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of the movies with another movie, both visually. Another movie that blew me away, and it's a '90s movie, so it's not in your channels. It might even be a 2000. I don't remember. I think it was '90s, late '90s. The Matrix. The first time I saw that movie blew me away. I was like, how the hell did they come up with that idea? 97, right?
99.
99. So there you go, 99. One of my all-time favorite movies. When I first saw that movie, I was like, oh my God. And the visual effects for that movie was well ahead of its time as well.
Oh, it was incredible. It's so weird looking up and then seeing the delay, seeing me pull up the DVD now. I love watching the delay. It makes me laugh. The Matrix, The Matrix is another one, and I know I'm an 80s guy, but I will talk any movies on something like this. Matrix 1's an amazing movie. I liked... Movie critic, I got you, brother. I see what you're saying. I'm with you on that. The Matrix, what was the next one? Matrix Reloaded, I thought had its moments. And then the last one, just Matrix Revolutions, I was like, what just happened?
Oh my God. Yeah, the Matrix 1... Matrix 1 is one of my all-time favorite movies. Matrix 2 I loved, but I wish they didn't make it because they made it. They had to make Matrix 3, and Matrix 3 was just a complete and utter failure. Had Matrix 3 been good, that would have been one of the best trilogies of all time.
Oh, gosh, yeah, no doubt. I never thought of that with the trilogy question we were talking about earlier. If that movie wasn't so far away from what the movie part 1 had started, I think, that would have been way up there, top 3. But that movie I hate it. Yeah. I don't like it, and it just kills the trilogy for me.
Yeah, I tried to watch it like 3 times to try to like it, and I just couldn't. Bad Boys 2 was great, Rum Boys. One of my all-time favorite action movies. Non-stop action in Bad Boys 2, and they're making another one. That's going to be a trilogy.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I think it comes out next year.
Well, you're a Tom Cruise fan. Aren't they making a Top Gun 2?
They are. They're making a Top Gun 2. They're making a Mission Impossible 7. Every Mission Impossible, by the way, except for number 2. I wish they skipped number 2. That is my favorite series of all time. I absolutely love, and they get better. Every movie gets better. 3 was great. 4 was better. 5 was better. And the last one is one of my favorite action movies of all time. Just incredible. All of them.
I have not seen the last. I think the last 2.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah, I'm a little behind in that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you got to. Great. Even though you don't like Tom Cruise, you got to.
Whoa! A buddy of mine just called and said the same thing. I didn't say I don't like Tom Cruise per se. I don't like his movies where he's like the pretty boy, kind of like he was in Risky Business. I can't really think of the other ones, but movies like A Few Good Men, which I don't have right here because I put all my sports DVDs there, but A Few Good Men, I own that. Interview with the Vampire, I thought he was amazing as Lestat. He was doing the pretty boy thing, but he was a vampire, he was a bad guy, and I just loved him in that movie. And
you're talking about bad guy. You're talking about bad guy. One movie you have to watch. You said you didn't when I brought it up to you the other day. Tom Cruise in Collateral is probably definitely my top 3 villains of all time. Go and watch Collateral.
All right.
He was an incredible villain in that movie. I'll just give you a quick synopsis of the movie. He's a hired hitman, and he has about 6 or 7 people he has to kill throughout the night. I'm not going to ruin the movie, but that's the synopsis. And Jamie Foxx is the cab driver. So Jamie Foxx has no idea what he's doing. He says, I'm going to give you $500. I just want you to drive me around all night. I'm going to go to different locations, and I want you to go to this spot, and I'm going to go out and do what I have to do, and I'm going to come back. He doesn't know what he's driving him around for, and then obviously it all ties in at the end. But incredible movie. You've got to check it out. Yeah, one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies.
Broken Path, played by John. I don't know that movie. But you know what? That's a great thing about the one thing I love about doing the channel. I am discovering so many good movies and bad movies to review, and it's been a blast. It's exhausting at times because watching a 2-hour movie by yourself that you don't really want to watch is not fun, and then going in there and editing it and having to watch parts of that movie again and talk about the movie and then watch your video. It's like, man, I hate this movie now. So
Scott Thomas says he's offended. As I always say, That not everybody's a Tom Cruise fan. He's like the New York Yankees. You either love him or you hate him. There's not really an in-between with Tom Cruise. It's much like the New York Yankees.
I do like Back to the Future 3, by the way.
Back to the Future 3 is the worst of the three, but I do like it.
I agree.
Yeah, but I do like it.
When you raise the bar that high with Back to the Future 1, and 2 is pretty high too, it's like, it's better than a lot of other stuff that was coming out at that time, so I do like it.
Yeah. And by the way, we've got another 15, 20 minutes. We're going to take questions from the chat. So go ahead. 5 away from 4K. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button.
Yeah, come on, let's get my man to 4,000.
And go into the description and sub up my man right here. Sub up Stuck in the 80s. Sub up my man Philly 500. Souls Goals announced. He says, Warriors and Wanderers, top gang movies from the New York. I got to go Bronx Tale. I love Bronx Tale. You've seen Bronx Tale?
I haven't.
Gotta see.
I'm thinking of Rumble in the Bronx. That was like a Jackie Chan movie.
No. Bronx Tale. Bronx Tale's really good. Congrats. There you go. You got 100 subs. There you go. Very good stuff. Riddick. I like the original Riddick. I think I saw the second. I never saw the third. That's with Vin Diesel. I like the original Riddick.
Yeah, well, shockingly, and it's not going to surprise you since I've been talking action movies. That's the third movie right there. Dave Bautista's also in it from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a pretty good movie, but the biggest issue I have with the movie is Vin Diesel, Riddick, disappears for a long time, maybe 20 to 30 minutes in the middle of the movie. You don't take the name of the character and make them disappear. That's not a good way to attract your audience. So it's worth seeing, but
What wasn't your favorite?
No, I feel it's a franchise that has a ton of potential. I liked Pitch Black. Thought that was great. And Vin Diesel's great in all 3 movies. The Chronicles of Riddick was a misfire because they went the PG-13 route. And I don't like it when R-rated franchises change what they are at the core and try to do the PG-13 to get more viewers. See The Expendables, 1 and 2 rated R. Did great. Part 3 is rated PG-13. Movie tanked. So they tried to correct it with Riddick, but I think they had lost a lot of their audience at this point.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're probably right. I seen Nathaniel asked if I subbed to him. I think I did. If I did not, I will definitely go in there and sub to you tonight. Just remind me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I did. But if I didn't, drop it in the comments after the video, and I will sub up your channel.
By the way, Chris, Sexy Goat has been really writing some crazy, weird stuff in there tonight. So, Sexy Goat, you're making me laugh when I don't want to be laughing, when Chris is like being serious, and I'm seeing the nonsense you're writing. So, thank you. I appreciate it.
Once again, guys, go ahead and ask those questions. I always like to leave the last 15 minutes or so for you guys to ask questions for either one of us, and we'll try to answer them. Can I get a shout out? I'm almost at 100. Yeah, Cushman, go over there and sub up Cushman. He's got a baseball channel. Do we like Impractical Jokers? You've seen that show?
I have not.
Oh, man, you got to see it. Love Impractical Jokers. One of my favorite. Put him in the bathroom. Yes, of course, from Bronx Tale. One of my favorite scenes in movie history. Put him in the bathroom. Oh, and I'm going Seinfeld, by the way. Friends of Seinfeld, real quick.
Well, I've got all 10 seasons of this sitting behind me, so I think
This guy has a DVD. Every time we ask him a question, he pulls up the DVD. He's got Riddick, for God's sakes.
They're right behind me, brother.
Who's your favorite character from Friends?
Gosh. I mean, I like all 6. Man, that's tough. I mean, I want to split it up between guy and girl, so I'm going to go Ross and Rachel. I liked their storyline, even though it took 10 years. Oh, my gosh, spoiler. Yeah, probably Ross and Rachel. Ross because I can relate. People say I'm more like Chandler, probably because I'm very jokey and use humor as a self-defense mechanism. So I'm Chandler, but I like Ross. And then for the girls, Jennifer Aniston, because I liked her character, and she was really hot on the show. So that's a winning combination.
I think my favorite character was Chandler. Jennifer Aniston was hot, but Chandler always made me laugh. I think a lot of people like Lisa Kudrow. She was probably my least favorite. I liked her, but my favorite show. I think my favorite show, an underrated. I don't know if it's my favorite, but a show that and the first 2 or 3 episodes I watched, I hated it, but I was forced to push through because the girl I was dating at the time loved the show, and she's like, keep watching it, and I fell in love with the show. Is Parks and Rec. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I think Parks and Rec is one of my favorite shows I've ever seen.
I am familiar with it. I didn't watch it, and I did want to address a question by Mustard Bus. He said, do I like Tremors? I'm just going to answer that for you right now, man.
Ask any question about a movie, he's just going to pull it up right in front. How do you have them ready?
It's right behind me, so I gave myself a reach around here and grabbed the DVD.
You better watch what you say. This is live.
Well, yeah, somebody's going to take that and make it a sound clip. I was about to review Tremors, Mustard Bus, and I got about 20 minutes in, and I started thinking, like, wait a minute, is this 1990? And I look at the box, I'm like, dang, it's 1990. It's not stuck in the 80s with me.
I love that movie. Kevin Bacon. That's a great movie, Tremors.
It's awesome. Is anybody else lagging, by the way? I just want to make sure the stream's okay. I think my stream pooped out, but just want to make sure we're good.
Your stream, I think we're good. I mean, I can't tell.
Nobody's saying anything about lagging, so yeah, we're fine.
I've seen The Outsiders, Joe Lutz. The Outsiders is really good. Really good. Sentinel asked, do we like Home Alone? I love Home Alone.
Home Alone's great. Saw it in the theater when I was 13, maybe 12. I don't remember when it came out. I think it was around 1990. It was a hilarious movie. It still holds up today.
Fun fact about Home Alone 2. My next door neighbor was in Home Alone 2. He was the limo driver for Macaulay Culkin. When he's the butler, the guy that's trying to get Macaulay Culkin in trouble because he's kind of onto him, goes into the room and Macaulay Culkin pretends his uncle's in the shower, but it's really a blow-up doll.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen this since it came out, so I'm forgetting all of it.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Basically what happens is he gets embarrassed because he thought it was his uncle in the shower and he feels bad, so he gives him a complimentary limo to drive around New York City with a cheese pizza, and the limo driver in the movie was my next door neighbor.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he was also in Men in Black. Do you remember Men in Black?
Yeah.
All right, I think it's the first scene in Men in Black. There's a scene in it where they're running around, like Will Smith's a cop, I think, at the beginning. And there you go. And they're running around New York City, and he has a fat partner for a cop, and he's completely out of breath.
Yes.
Same guy. That's my next door neighbor. He was in both movies.
That's your neighbor?
Well, he used to be when I lived on Long Island, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it used to be. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't know any celebrity.
I went to high school with his son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Small world after all.
Just a random guy there, yeah.
And now I want to watch Men in Black. Mustard Bus, I just held up the Men in Black. Come on, man. You got to open your eyes and get the mustard out of them.
Get the mustard out of your eyes, Mustard Bus.
Get the mustard out of your eyes, Snapplehead.
Nathaniel, have a good one. Die Hard Baltimore Ravens, the Combine, I don't know what you're talking about there. Read my comments or the kid dies, Scott Thomas says.
Kid's going to die, Scott.
What's going on, Giants fan 1213? Thank you for tuning in to the stream. Men in Black 3 was shot by where you live. Men in Black 3, to me, is one of the more underrated movies of all time. I loved Men in Black 3.
It was good.
Yeah, I know I'm not saying it was great, but I think a lot of people thought it was bad. I liked it.
Learn football? You learn football, jerkwad. I'm just kidding, Cushman. I don't remember what Chris said exactly. I just remember during that outtake he said, you learned football. You were very upset with that. It was great.
He's wearing a New York Giants Super Bowl hat.
Old school.
When they beat the Patriots.
That's right. And I think I told you guys, once a year, so I can remember when the Giants don't suck, this is the entire playoff run from 2007 and 2011. So these are fun to watch from time to time.
Oh, God, I watched that 2007 Super Bowl every year before the start of the football season. I watched that drive.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. That drive, that gives me goosebumps. That every time I watch it. Kristen Orr says, learn soccer. MH says, I'm not drinking, MH. I don't sing when I'm sober. Yes, Rum Boys, I'm going to have a spotlight on the channel next Tuesday. He'll be on the channel. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, great movie, and very rewatchable.
I do want to do that one.
Yeah, the Ferris Bueller's and My Cousin Vinny, to me, are two of the most rewatchable movies ever. And another rewatchable movie that a lot of people don't know about, that it's not like a great movie, but it's just a movie. Every time it's on, I watch it, with Steve Martin. It's called My Blue Haven.
My Blue Heaven.
My Blue Heaven, rather. I thought it was Haven for some reason. It's My Blue Heaven.
No, My Blue Heaven.
Yeah. Loved it. I mean, it's just one of those movies. Whenever it's on, I watch it.
For a second, I thought that was a New York accent coming out. I was like, did he mean to say that?
I love that movie.
Somebody asked Crazy Ex-Girlfriend story. I don't have anything. I haven't dated anybody that's been, like, really crazy, but I have a sucky ex-girlfriend story. I went back to school full-time at the University of Mary Washington, Virginia, and was graduating in 2017, and the girl that I was in love with and dating broke up with me 3 days before my graduation.
Jeez, talk about a heartbreaker.
Yeah, she's like, here's a graduation gift. You're single. She didn't say that, but I mean, you know.
It ended up being a gift, I guess, right? It wouldn't have worked out. Trading Places, Jeremy Newsbaum. That is a great movie, too. Of course, when Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd trade places, that's a classic.
Trading Places. My friends who I hang out with would constantly say, looking good, feeling good. And I had not seen Trading Places, so I did not get the joke for the longest time. I go over to my buddy Tim's house one year, and he's watching Trading Places. And I'm walking, I'm like, oh, that's the movie with the looking good, feeling good line. I need to watch this. And he's like, hold on a second. I look up at the TV, and then sure enough, the looking good, feeling good scene comes on. Now, I have seen the movie since, and it's a great movie. I can't wait to review it and watch it again. But yeah, that's looking good. Was it Looking Good, Billy Ray?
That's probably my favorite Eddie Murphy movie, actually. It's either that or Coming to America, or Beverly Hills Cop's really good too. Dumb and Dumber's great. I love the scene in Dumb and Dumber where he's doing the snowball, where he's making the snowball, the snowman, and he puts the carrot and the two charcoals down by where the private parts are instead of.
Oh. I need to watch it. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Oh, that movie's great. Great.
I haven't seen Dumb and is it Dumber-er?
Oh, G-Man49 says, what's good, Tainer? G-Man49, you have got to go back to the beginning of the stream. This is one of my favorite streams I've done. I've had such a good time. We've talked anything but sports for the most part. We talked some Giants because he's a big Giants fan, but you got to check out his channel. If you're a movie fan, Stuck in the 80s, the link in the description, G-Man. Go and check him out.
Or just 80s in general, because I plan on doing just anything 80s related, whether it's toys, video games. I really want to just focus on the film reviews, but there's so much great 80s stuff. I don't want to miss so many things out by just staying focused on the movies. Tomorrow night I'm doing my top favorite 10 80s albums of all time, and it's going to be very biased because it's just, I'm not saying they're the best, I'm just saying they're my personal favorite. So that'll be on at 9. I will be done before The Entertainer and Bad Dog go on because I never want to cross the streams, Ghostbusters reference. Also, out of respect to their channels and because I love their channels, I want to see your stream, so I'll be done by 9:30.
I'm going to guess that most of those songs are going to be death metal.
No, death metal was barely around in the 80s. It didn't take off until the 1990s.
There you go. You just taught me something.
Yeah, you've probably, most people, if they've heard any death metal, it's in Ace Ventura. When Ace Ventura goes into a metal club and there's a band playing up on stage, and that's Cannibal Corpse, the most well-known death metal band of all time. And Jim Carrey, at the time, was a huge Cannibal Corpse fan, so he wanted him in the movie. Go figure.
I remember that scene, and that's the scene where he ends up going down to the door, and he has to say the password, right? What is it? Is it the red or the white? The clam chowder? Yep.
That's correct, sir.
Yep, that was a great movie. Porky or American Pie? Love both those movies. I'm gonna go American Pie.
American Pie.
But I love both. American Pie is so good. I could watch that movie 1,000 times.
Sexy Goat wants to know how I lost my virginity by having sex with a woman.
And I lost mine by having sex with a turtle. Actually.
Right. Awesome.
A lot of people who are new to the channel probably didn't get that joke, but yeah, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective is phenomenal.
Porky's is outdated. I'll agree. I got this weird. It's down there on the floor, but crap, I can't reach it. I have I showed it on the DVD thing I did. We got the old 3-pack here, and if you want 80s classics comedies, Bachelor Party, Porky's, and Revenge of the Nerds. I don't know if this 3-pack is still around, but that's a lot of entertainment right there. So that's worth picking up.
You gotta go with Porky's. We appreciate that Rum Boys Fantasy Network. We should collab during. Yeah, Cushman, we'll get to it. I promise. I'll have you on the channel at some point. E.T. Extraterrestrial, great movie, Caesar, great movie. And I still remember, as a little kid, I had the VHS for that. And it was the only VHS I had. You remember that it had, like, the little flip, the VHS is a little, that hit
the green part, right?
It had the green part. It was the only tape I had that had the green part instead of black. I still remember that.
I want to get that on DVD, but from what I've heard, they've boogered up the movie and they edited out, like near the end when the agents have guns and CGI'd in cell phones, or they just want to make the movie less violent, and I've just stayed away from it because of that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No. That's like George Lucas keep messing with episode 4 through 6 and constantly adding CGI scenes and re-editing them. It's like, dude, leave your movies alone. They were good they were great the way they were. Just stop messing them up.
Yeah. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is great. Learn lacrosse. Yeah, well, I've never played lacrosse. Never really got into that. Airplane or Police Academy, Dwayne Basco has. I love both those movies.
Airplane.
Police Academy's a little cheesy. I mean, they're both cheesy, obviously, but I'm going Airplane.
Airplane.
But my favorite parody movie is actually Naked Gun. I absolutely love that entire series. Naked Gun 1, Naked Gun 2.5, Naked Gun 33 1/3.
I can't reach them because I'm so close to my case, but I do own the 3. That is a great trilogy. Leslie Nielsen as Lieutenant Frank Drebin is just hilarious. His reactions, the way he's so stupid.
I still love the baseball scene at the end where he's the umpire and everybody's because they think he's Enrico Palazzo. Palazzo. And
I didn't catch that during a chat. I rewatched the chat for my live stream with my DVD collection. I saw you put Enrico Palazzo. I was laughing my butt off because I'm like, probably a lot of people didn't get that, but I was right there with you. I was like, hey, it's Enrico Palazzo. Yeah. His rendition of the Star Spangled Banner is also worth checking out if you've never seen The Naked Gun. A movie that probably would not get PG-13 today, and that's one thing I'm probably going to address at some point in my channel, Chris. The MPAA is so freaking inconsistent in the 80s movies I'm watching. I recently reviewed a movie called Just One of the Guys. A lot of people probably haven't seen that. And I remember the girl in the movie showed her boobs at one point, which is probably fine for a PG-13 movie, a little boob action. But they're in her brother's bedroom, and he's got Playboy centerfolds all over the walls where you can see everything. And they're in there for like 3 or 4 minutes total. So I'm like, how do you allow full frontal nudity in a PG-13 movie, but you're editing the crap out of all the Friday 13th movies? And it's weird.
It's a weird judging system there. Yes, O.J. Simpson, of course, was in The Naked Gun. Yes.
Yes, all 3 of them.
Yeah. Starship Troopers, that was a good, corny movie. Denise Richards, I think that was her first movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she was young in that. That's an awesome movie. That I hope they don't remake that because it's perfect the way it is. Yeah. Great cast, just let it be.
And awesome. I think that's the guy, if I'm not mistaken, the lead actor in that, was he the same guy that was in Final Destination?
No, Casper Van Dien was Starship Troopers. There was a different guy in Final Destination though.
Oh, I remember his name. Devin Sawa, I think.
Devin Sawa. Oh, there you got it right before I pulled it up.
Yeah. That's one of my guilty pleasure horror movies. I like that movie a lot.
Oh, they're terrible, but I love them because they always fake you out on how the people are going to die. You're thinking, oh, he's going to drink poison from his cup, when actually my David Robinson jersey hanger comes down and cuts my throat, and then I'm dead.
What a shocker! He pulled out another DVD as I mentioned it. What a shocker! Van Helsing. Van Helsing was
I like Hugh Jackman, but the girls were hot in that.
Yes, they were.
Smoking. So I just see a lot of random, like, trust the enemy, see them doing before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
Robin Hood Men in Tights was hilarious. Lend me your ears. Everybody throws the ears at him. Let's see what else.
How was Diana Ross in the 80s? I don't know. I never dated her.
Never dated her, yeah. 5 subs off. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. All the new subscribers tonight who jumped on, I really appreciate that. And everybody that subbed up Stuck in the 80s, you will not regret it. Everybody that subbed up Philly 500, you will not regret it. Both their links are in the description.
You are getting 4,000 this week, brother. People keep saying Spaceballs. Come on, man. This is the first movie I have ever seen in the theater twice, and I still quote this damn movie all the time. It's a classic. I don't know how it didn't do well at the box office. I don't think people appreciated it when it came out, but now everybody just look back on it.
It's one of those like cult classics, and I see Motivated by Success. Last night I called you Motivated by Sex. Thank you for tuning into the stream. He says, stand up, Jets fans. Thank you so much for tuning in, my man. Let's see. Sexy Coach said it. Motivated by Sex. What are we doing?
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the stream? I'm looking at now.
The Great Outdoors is a great movie, too. Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Absolutely. John Candy's unbelievable.
R.I.P. John Candy. Man, I'm finding out doing these reviews, I'm doing a lot of rest in pieces, and it's a little depressing. I mean, some of the actors are older, so they've died natural deaths, but there's other actors where I'm like, oh, yeah, they died at a very young age, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, Chris Farley was another one. I mean, not in the 80s, but yeah.
No, but yeah, definitely way, way too young.
Yeah. I've actually never seen Miami Vice.
I watched it at a time when I was a kid. It was pretty good. That's the reason when I do some of my reviews that I have my sleeves rolled up on the sports coat, is because that's what they did on Miami Vice. Their sleeves are always rolled up. So I was like, I got to go with the Miami Vice look. It's a classic look.
That's a classic 80s look, absolutely. Who's Harry Crumb? I absolutely love that movie. Great John Candy movie. You seen that one?
I have not. A buddy of mine, I don't know if he's on the stream right now, my buddy Tim let me borrow Who's Harry Crumb, so I'm going to watch it soon, and I will have a review of it.
That is a great John Candy movie, and Uncle Buck, I love.
I haven't seen Uncle Buck.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me.
I haven't seen every 80s movie. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm working on it.
Nicolas Cage and Jeremy says you look like Chuck Norris, I guess, because everybody says I look like Nicolas Cage, so he's saying Nicolas
I'm Chuck Norris?
That's what he's saying.
Oh,
He's got a whole Chuck Norris. He's going to break out all the Chuck Norris DVDs.
So
There you go.
Can you see him?
I see it a little bit.
See it when he had the beard?
Yeah, I see it a little bit.
Wish I could throw a roundhouse kick like Chuck Norris.
And Tango and Cash is great, Stallone movie. Chris, you did a review on that already, right?
Tango and Cash was my 5th or 6th review.
Yeah, that's a great movie. And of course I've seen Super Troopers. I saw the sequel too. The sequel wasn't that good, but the first one was hysterical.
Love a question. Rum Boys Fantasy Network just asked. Favorite Bruce Lee movie? Bar none, Enter the Dragon, which I'm sure is behind me nowhere. It's on the floor. But Enter the Dragon, an absolute classic. It's just... Oh, there it is. This movie, John Saxon's also in it, mostly known for Nightmare on Elm Street as Nancy's dad, but Bruce Lee, his only English-speaking role, and just an amazing martial arts movie. Chris, I don't know if you're into martial arts movies, but he just... Awesome. It's too bad him and his son both dying so freaking young. It's just crazy. He died at like 33. His son was 26 and died while making The Crow.
Yeah. I'm not a huge martial. And by the way, Ronaldo, what's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. He says you. All right. Somebody just said you look like Chuck Norris. Now Ronaldo's saying you look like Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman? Oh yeah, I do. Just like I'm a foot taller. Was he like 5'8"? I'm 6'4", so he's probably like.
Wow, you're 6'4".
I'm 6'4".
Wow, you're taller than I thought. I'm only 5'11". You make me look like a midget.
Yeah, we're the same size on screen though.
Yeah, on screen we look the same. Actually, I think I look a little taller. I'm gonna sit up a little higher. Police. Bruce. I'm not. Yeah, I was never a big martial artist guy. I mean, I saw a lot of Jackie Chan movies. I saw Rumble in the Bronx. I've seen a bunch of his stuff. Jet Li. I was never a huge martial arts guy though.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal.
Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen the. Actually, I'm trying to think of some Jean-Claude Van Damme movies I liked. Actually, I remember as a kid, and it's probably really bad if I watched it again now, but I liked Time Cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time Cop is great.
Yeah, I remember liking that one.
That was a good one. Then, a guilty pleasure, because everybody was talking to a lot of friends were like, I saw your review for Bloodsport. What's your favorite Van Damme movie? And I mentioned Time Cop, Universal Soldier with Dolph Lundgren. But a guilty pleasure, and it's a terrible movie, is Double Impact, where there's 2 Jean-Claude Van Dammes.
I've seen it.
And I mean, the only thing I can quote from the movie is when he's one brother says to the other, "Mr. Black Silk underwear." And it's terrible, terrible movie, but I love it. RoboCop is amazing, Chris Senor. Yes, I'm going to review RoboCop. Of course, that's one I can get to very easily. RoboCop is another one of those movies I can't figure out because it is an absolute bloodbath, but the MPAA still gave it an R rating when other movies were getting censored. So I don't know if it had a lot to do with movie studios. A little FYI. You guys might not have known this. Scary Movie got an R rating when it probably shouldn't have when you think of some of the scenes that are in there. And the studio that created Scary Movie was owned by Disney, so there was a little pull there, so they got the R rating when they probably should have had to censor it a little bit more.
Interesting. Scary Movie, I remember the first time I saw that I thought it was really funny. I don't know if I would still think it if I went back and watched it.
It was definitely hilarious, but it broke the door down for Wang's being on screen, and ever since then all the comedies have full frontal male nudity as a joke, and it's
that's like the new thing now in every movie.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, this is a new series I've been doing. I have a new YouTuber where we don't just talk strictly sports. I find YouTubers that I like. We get to know their channel. We get to know them, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, we were talking a little sports. We talked some movies, and I think this has been a terrific stream. You should go back and watch it from the beginning. Some of this guy's impersonations are out of control. Yeah,
if they sound demonic, the characters, I usually can do some sort of their semblance to their voice. I see people asking for The Undertaker again.
My favorite is Freddy. I need to hear one more Freddy. Get the glove, though. Get the glove.
Yeah, let me get the glove. Get the glove here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this right, Chris. When it comes to the entertainer,
You've got the body. I've got the brain.
Unbelievable. He is unbelievable. My God, you
Love-
could play Freddy. That's how good you are.
you know, if New Line Cinema ever said we're rebooting the series, play Freddy, I would be all on board, but I don't know if I'm too tall for that. Robert Englund was like 5'8", 5'9". Jackie Earle Haley's even smaller. I think he's like 5'5", 5'6". So I just feel like
Probably not in the cards.
he's probably not in the cards. I would be up for wearing the makeup and doing it. I mean, I'm 100% on board. So if somebody from New Line Cinema is watching, hit me up. StuckintheEighties at Outlook.com.
There you go. Everybody do me a favor, Jazzy TV. We appreciate that. Everybody go over there and sub up Jazzy TV. Love that guy. Love that guy.
Goodness, now I really look like Chuck Norris.
Someone give this man a roll, Cesar Munoz says. I had such a blast doing this. Unfortunately, I got to call it quits in a couple minutes. We're going a little further than I normally do. I normally close it out at 11. We'll go to about 11:15. I'll give you 9 more minutes. 9 more minutes. We'll take a few more questions. Anybody who's got favorite movie that came out recently? Mine is Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War was incredible.
Infinity War.
Yeah, it was incredible. Incredible. Now, all right, I don't know if you read comics. I don't, so I don't know what's going to happen. My prediction, this is my prediction for the final. Well, I shouldn't say it because if somebody hasn't seen it, I won't say anything. Do I remember the Program? Yes, Program was very good. Excellent movie, football movie. Well, since it's a sports channel, what's your favorite sports movie?
I do want to add in, I am a comic book geek. I've been reading comics since 1989. I had the entire Incredible Hulk run, 102 to 474. So I'm just Spider-Man, the Hulk, Wolverine, X-Men. Big comic geek. I have read the Infinity Gauntlet. The book is nothing like the movie. I mean, there's some similarities, but they go separate ways. So I don't know how it's going to end either. You assume the good guys are going to win somehow. They wouldn't end the whole series on a sour note, but how they're going to do it, who knows? I'm sorry, what was your question, Chris? I went off on such a tangent there.
No. Now I forgot.
What was our question, chat? What did he ask me?
Yeah, what was our question? I could scroll up in the chat. I was responding to somebody else.
We're at 60 likes. Keep hitting that like button for Man the Entertainer. YouTube loves to see interaction. Chris, I found this out doing a lot of research, that likes are almost the same as dislikes. YouTube is looking for interaction. So when you comment down videos, whether you like videos, whether you dislike videos, don't dislike this, please don't. But if you go to a channel and you're like, I hate this channel or I hate this video, I'm going to show them by disliking it. In a way, you're helping the channel because they're getting interaction. YouTube wants to see interaction, and likes and dislikes are a big way.
I just want to say, and you're absolutely right about that. I've heard the same thing. I just want to say hello to Delano. I just saw him pop in one of my best subs, and that's what we were talking about. That's what I asked you. Your favorite sports movie of all time?
Oh, that's right. If Rocky qualifies as a sports movie, then it's going to be...
That's definitely a sports movie.
Then it's going to be Rocky.
Yeah, it's Rocky for me, too. My second... I'm going to give you my probably my top 5 I'll give you. Rocky, Major League, I absolutely love. Rudy's great. Hoosiers is great. And I'll go Field of Dreams. I think those are my top 5.
Top 5 in any order. Rocky's going to be on there. Major League's going to be on there. Just reviewed that. Love Wesley Snipes in Major League. Steals the movie.
He's incredible. Willie Mays Hayes.
Well, say hey, Willie Mays Hayes.
We may run like Mays, but you hit for spit. Come on, Thorne. Don't give me that old lame bull crap.
He's the best. The manager's the best in that movie.
Oh, the manager too. He steals the show. So that, White Man Can't Jump, probably my favorite basketball movie. I am partial to The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler because I love Adam Sandler, and there were so many WWE guys in there. It was just Kevin Nash being on estrogen pills and being very feminine. The big wrestler from the WWE was great. And the fifth one, I don't want to pick another Rocky movie because that's kind of a cheap way out. I don't know. I'm kind of stumped. I'll think about that.
Mighty Ducks is a good one, Damien Estrada. I like Mighty Ducks.
Would the Karate Kid count?
Sure, that counts. Why not?
All right, Karate Kid, boom.
Yeah. Forrest, no, what am I saying? Forrest Gump. I was thinking of a Happy Gilmore I like. Golf movie.
Happy Gilmore. Put that ahead of, Happy Gilmore. That's a hilarious one.
Yeah.
That's 2 Sandler movies in my top 5.
Bull Durham, good one. Philly 500, Bull Durham. And another good boxing movie is Cinderella Man. I like a lot with Russell Crowe.
Ah, that's right. Well, there's a lot of good sports movies. Redsons 24/7. I thought the Karate Kid remake was okay, but I didn't like the fact that they took an iconic scene where...
Tin Cup's a really good movie, Jeremy. Good call on that with Kevin Costner. I like that movie a lot.
What was Martin Cope's character, the leader of the Cobra Kai? I can't remember his name now. I'm drawing a blank. Not Johnny, but the older guy. Martin Cope played him. He wore... Anyway, he's talking about mercy is for the weak, which is one of the biggest iconic scenes from The Karate Kid. Here we do not train to be merciful. On the street, no mercy. And that scene's in the remake, but it's in Cantonese, so to me it lost all its effect. I'm like, well, I'm reading this great scene on subtitles? No, I think they blew it there.
Yeah.
And then Jackie Chan was playing, I think it was Han. Was that a character's name? He's not Mr. Miyagi. You can't have The Karate Kid without Mr. Miyagi.
You need Mr. Miyagi. You need Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. Air Bud. Oh, my God.
Air Bud. Oh, Air Bud.
I suppose that counts as a sports movie, but I can't believe that's in somebody's top 5. Angels in the Outfield was a fun movie when I was a kid. Rookie of the Year is another one that I liked. Daniel Stern was the remember Daniel Stern in that movie? When he creates the heated ice.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you never seen Rookie of the Year?
No.
Oh, you gotta see it. Love it.
I've seen Mr. 3000. I feel like that was a movie with Tom Selleck, kind of under baseball.
Mr. 3000 is with Bernie Mac. Oh no, Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
Oh my gosh, Chris, we're totally forgetting 42. Jackie Robinson's story.
Great movie. Yeah, great movie. Who brought 42 up? Did you just remember it?
Yes, it just popped in.
Okay. Draft Day was a fun movie with Kevin Costner. Very far-fetched. It would never happen in a million years. All the
Necessary Roughness. Scott Bakula, Kathy Ireland.
Let's see.
Terrible.
Air Bud is the greatest movie ever, yeah. 42 is really good. Actually, when I was a kid, that's what I wore. I wore number 42 when I played baseball. I just thought it was cool to have the number that was retired. Coach Carter, yeah, good movie. Sexiest YouTube. I gotta go with this guy.
Likewise. Chris, I had a couple questions prepared for you, so I want to throw them your way.
Yeah,
I already have my answers prepared, so what I'll do is I'll give my answers real quick while you're thinking of yours. Top 5 actors of all time. Mine in descending order. I might get some flack for this, but I love his movies as a kid.
Before I answer, is it who I think are the best actors or just my 5 favorite actors?
Favorite, not the best, just your favorite. So they don't have to be good actors, and looking at my list, none of them are. Number 5 is Steven Seagal. I don't know. I loved him in the late 80s, early 90s, Under Siege, Marked for Death, Hard to Kill, and the fact that all his movies were 3 words, so it'd be like, Steven Seagal is hard to kill because he's under siege. And he's marked for death, so he'll be above the law while he's out for justice. I mean, you just take all his movies and make one sentence out of them.
I love Steven Seagal. Yeah.
Number 4 was The Rock, because he's in everything now, so it's just, I feel like every movie I see has got The Rock in it. Number 3 is Jean-Claude Van Damme. 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger is my favorite actor from the 80s, but overall, I got to go with Sylvester Stallone because of the movies he did in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even with recent stuff like Expendables and Creed, he is still cranking out some good movies.
All right, I'm gonna try my best here. Off the top of my head, number 5, I'm going Jason Statham. I love Jason Statham. I love that accent. He's a cool. He seems to be like the coolest guy ever. I'm gonna have Stallone 4. I'm gonna go Nicolas Cage 3. I actually really like Nicolas Cage.
The bees!
I'm going to go De Niro 2, and I'm going to go Tom Cruise 1. That's my top 5.
I knew you're number 1, but...
Yeah, that's my top 5.
All right, make it harder now. The other part of this question is top 5 actresses.
You see, I'm not a huge actress person. I'll try to give you my top 5. Demi Moore was a really good actress. I like Emily Blunt a lot. I got a huge crush on her, so I'll say Emily Blunt's definitely in my top 5. I'll go Julia Roberts in my top 5. Melissa McCarthy I think is hysterical. I'd have her in my top 5. Trying to think. I'd have to think about this one. Did I say Julia Roberts? I did, right?
Yes, you did.
Demi Moore? Did I say
her?
Yep,
you said that one.
Okay. I have to think about this one.
I'm going to throw my top 5 your way.
I'll have to get back to you on that one. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so top 5. This might be an obscure one unless you're a horror movie fan, but Danielle Harris, who has been in tons of horror movies such as Halloween 4 and 5, then the Halloween 1 and 2 remakes by Rob Zombie. She also was in The Last Boy Scout. She was Bruce Willis's daughter. That was one of her first movies. And just Hatchet 2 and 3. So she's just been in a ton of B movies, which I do love B movies. Number 4, this is a recent one, Elizabeth Olsen. Loved her as Scarlet Witch, and I'm very attracted to her, so yeah, most of these have a lot to do with looks. I'll admit it, I'm shallow. Number 3, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I Know What You Did Last Summer, like her TV show Ghost Whisperer, I think, back in the day. Can't Hardly Wait. Number 2, Jessica Biel. Well, a lot of the movies she's in.
Jessica Biel's in my top 5. Yeah. And you know, if we're going looks, I'm going to go, what's her name? Oh, God, I'm so bad with names when it comes to actresses. Jessica Alba. I love Jessica
Alba.
Yeah.
Good one. Just didn't make my top 5. My number 1 is somebody brought up earlier because of a TV show I love with her, and I like a lot of her movies. I had to go Jennifer Aniston. I was like, you know what? I watched her as 10 Years as Rachel, and there's so many movies like Bruce Almighty, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, just tons of movies I liked her in. I was like, I got to go with her.
Well, there you go. There you have it.
There you have it.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore's really good. Lisa Ann, well, you love Lisa Ann. Well, I think all kids between 13 and my age probably love Lisa Ann. Sandra Bullock is really good actress too. She's funny. She's attractive. Yeah, Sandra Bullock's a good one.
Scott Thomas, it's cold outside. It's like 20 out. I don't want to go outside.
Top 5 comedians. I'm not gonna give you top 5. I'll give you my 3 favorite of all time in order. Number 1, stand-up comedian for me. I'm talking stand-up. I'm not talking George Carlin. Not even close. He is by far the best stand-up comedian of all time, in my opinion. Number 2, Richard Pryor. I think he's hysterical. And number 3, Bill Burr. Those are my 3 favorite stand-up comedians of all time.
Top 3 stand-up comedians of all time. Wow, that's a little tough for me because I'm not a huge stand-up guy. But number 3, I'm going to leave question mark because I'm not sure. But number 2 is going to be Gallagher because in the 80s he was smashing all the fruit with the Sledge-O-Matic, and I loved it as a kid. And my number 1,
Andrew Dice Clay.
Snap ahead, heck yeah, Andrew Dice Clay. That's when I watched your first video ever, Chris. I was like, he sounds like Dice a little bit. I don't know if that's what he's doing intentionally, but it felt something Dice.
I've seen him live 3 times. Andrew Dice Clay.
No kidding. I've only seen him once.
I should have said him. He's definitely in my top 5. I should have said him. He's hysterical. He is. I mean, you know, the thing is, everybody got so obsessed with his poems that they didn't really take notice to his comedy, but it's actually very funny.
I watched his a documentary recently about him, and it's weird because people wanted him to keep getting dirtier and dirtier, so he did. And then when he was giving people what they wanted, he started getting a lot of backlash. So then he tried to change his image and clean things up. He had a terrible TV show on in the '90s where he's aimed at families. And his career, I think it got derailed for the wrong reasons. Adventures of Ford Fairlane wasn't a great movie, but the studio just totally didn't push it correctly. So he I don't know. He got big because of what he was doing with the dirty stuff, but he was also people might not know this. He used to do a ton of impersonations. He did a whole movie scene. You know this.
Oh yeah. He did. He used to have that bit where he did Travolta. He did. Yeah, he did Stallone. He did it all together. Another
De Niro, Stallone.
Yeah, another one I'm thinking of as you're talking. Rodney Dangerfield's obviously a classic comedian, and Eddie Murphy. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, loved his Travolta. I loved it. Let me tell you something. You know, he had that great.
Yeah, he had the stick. It was good.
It was good.
What's going on, Lamel Sinclair? Yeah, we're about to close out, man. Lamel Sinclair is one of my best subscribers. I appreciate you stopping by. Everybody, do me a favor. Whoever came in late, the link's in the description. Please sub this man up.
Kendra just came in.
Kendra, what's going on, Kendra? She's already subscribed to you, I think. But please go to the link in the description and sub up Stuck in the 80s. He did a fantastic job tonight. Great show tonight. And Philly 500's in there as well. If anybody has not seen Philly 500's music video of me, you're going to want to watch it. I was dying of laughter. I put the link to that in there. I put the link to his channel in there. Sub both those guys up.
Sincerely, Philly 500's video, it is the best and worst video I've ever seen. It's hilarious. I love the fact that he just allows him to be so transparent and he just sings his heart out. It's awesome. Check that video out.
But I am going to, what I always do is I let my guests close out the show, and I'll say the parting ways, but I just want you to say what you got to say, and then we'll close it out.
All right, well, I will close it the only way I know how. I want to thank you all for tuning in. First and foremost, Chris, thank you for having me on the channel. I'm a very small channel, so you could easily just said, you know what, this guy's not really going to help my channel grow any, so why bring him on? But this is the perfect example of a great YouTuber that likes the community involved. He's an awesome play-by-plays, sports reactions. I know you guys are probably all subbed up that are in here, but if you're not subbed up to the Entertainer, let's get him to 4,000 this week. He's worked his butt off, and hit that like button for him as well. As far as myself, if you like 80s stuff, movies, or anything 80s related, or just want to check out a review and have some laughs for 4 or 5 minutes with me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And until next time, stay stuck in the 80s.
Great job tonight. I just want to say I was really looking forward to the stream because I love this guy's channel. You can tell he's a genuine dude. I love everything that you do. Keep up the good work. I know your channel is going to explode. I want to say thank you for coming on the channel. I'm looking forward to doing this every week as I introduce newer YouTubers to my community. I want to help people grow. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned into the stream to watch us tonight. All my great subscribers, everybody who's here. MH, Stad Thomas, Mustard Delano, Last Jedi, Gritty Giant, El Muchacho, Crazy Dog, Sexy Go, Chad Warden, everybody, Kendra, of course, Kendra, you kidding me? Everybody that tuned in, Stuck in the Entertainer, there you go. QC, thank you for thanking me. Goquan Barkley, what's with the ones? One if you came from Bad. Oh, everybody came from Bad Dog. All right, real quick, for everybody who just came in, great stream, Nicolas Cage and Chuck Norris, rule the night. You do the voice one more time for everybody who came in.
I saw it, so I prepared. So
that's how we'll close it out. Do the voice, and then we'll close it out.
How's this for a wet dream?
There you have it. There you have it. And guys, have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I had a great time tonight. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.